The Byzantines' pride, the city of Constantinople, whose walls, besieged for ages by armies in great numbers but had stayed intact, would finally be shattered with the accession of young Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II. Mehmed from a very young age had seen his father Murad II die trying to somehow conquer the city of Constantinople. He grew up with this mission, as if he is chosen by God himself for this sacred cause. Mehmed knew he would make the impossible possible. He was an ambitious boy. He was known for his swage and courage. His determination was irresistible. If Mehmed had said something, it was certainly unchangeable. Mehmed II was born on 30th of March, 1432, in Edirne, then the capital city of the Ottoman state. His father was Sultan Muhammad II, and his mother Huma Hatun, a slave of uncertain origin. Prior to the customs of Ottomans, Mehmed at an early age was sent to Amasya with his advisors, where he was destined to gain experience and the art of politics. Sultan Muhammad II also sent a number of teachers for him to study under. This Islamic education had a great impact in molding Mehmed's mindset and reinforcing his Muslim beliefs. He was influenced in his practice of Islamic epistemology by practitioners of science, particularly by his mentor, Molla Ghorani, and he followed their approach. The influence of Akshamsuddin in Mehmed's life became predominant from a young age, especially in the imperative of fulfilling his Islamic duty to overthrow the Byzantine Empire by conquering Constantinople. Murad II had his own way of running the vast empire. He, after having a peace agreement with Hungarians, left the throne to Mehmed, who would then be serving as an interim Ottoman Sultan for the next 2 years, from 1444–1446. The young, energetic Sultan, Mehmed, was now dealing with both internal and external dangers the Ottomans had long been facing. Mehmed had to face grave external and internal crises. The King of Hungary, the Pope, the Byzantine Empire, and Venice, all eager to take advantage of the accession of a child to the Ottoman throne, succeeded in organizing a crusade. Edirne was the scene of violent rivalry between the powerful Grand Vizier Sandala Halil on the one hand, and the viziers Zaganos and Shihabeddin on the other, who claimed that they were protecting the rights of the child sultan. In September 1444, the army of the Crusaders crossed the Danube. In Edirne, this news triggered a massacre of the Christian-influenced Hurufa sect and conjured up an atmosphere of panic and arson. When the Crusaders laid siege to Varna, the reigning sultan's father was urged to come back from retirement in Bursa and lead the army. The Ottoman victory at Varna under Murad II, November 10, 1444, put an end to the crises. Mehmed II, who had stayed in Edirne, maintained the throne, and after the battle his father retired to Manisa. Zaganos and Shihabeddin then began to incite the child sultan to undertake the capture of Constantinople, but Sandala engineered a revolt of the Janissaries and called Murad II back to Edirne to resume the throne, May 1446. Mehmed was sent once more to Manisa with Zaganos and Shihabeddin, newly appointed as his tutors. There, Mehmed continued to consider himself the legal sultan. Upon the death of his father in 1451, Mehmed was called once more to Edirne to resume the throne. Mehmed was predetermined for the conquest of Constantinople. He knew he would face challenges from the administration under Kandali Pasha, the Prime Minister of Ottoman Empire. The Premier of Ottomans was regarded the second most influential slot, and less often even more powerful than the Sultan himself. Keeping that in mind, Mehmed first had to earn the trust of Kandali. Mehmed didn't really like the Prime Minister. He had been sharing this history with him since he was brought to the Adrianople. It is famously said, Mehmed once called him to the palace with his sword in his hand, and then spare him upon a condition to not oppose his campaign to Constantinople. He duly subjugated him in a way that he is not offended to, and to be his one of arms during the expedition. Thus, an army of 80,000 men under the command of this young sultan, of about 21 years old, was ready to take down the ancient walls of impenetrable Constantinople. On April 6, 1453, Mehmed had started the siege with his mighty cannons and the most advanced and trained military veterans, the Janissaries. The siege lasted for 55 straight days and ended with Mehmed's decisive victory that changed the course of the battle. Though Ottomans had eventually proclaimed victory, but Emperor's Constantine really fought hard not to surrender upon any condition and died there, while defending the city. The battle is renowned for many brave and bold acts of Mehmed. Mehmed ordered the construction of a road of greased logs across Galata on the north side of the Golden Horn and dragged his ships over the hill directly into the Golden Horn on 22nd April, bypassing the chain barrier. To restore his army's morale, he himself led the army to the gates. Turned out to be the final day of siege. Mehmed fought fiercely on that day during midnight, so his army. They did give no time to the defenders and sneaked into the city before the gates could even close. This remarkable leading act of Mehmed during the darkest period of expedition, when everyone in his army was fed up of war, would soon be marked as one of the key moments of his great campaign. The conquest of Constantinople.